do a lot of stories here on the show about royals, the good and the bad, but it is nice to find out exactly just how kind and good senior members of the British monarchy are. And this particular story was brought to me via the power, as ever, of social media. So I thought I'd share it with you because, like me, it really did warm my heart, because it just proves that what you see or read or hear on the mainstream media is not the true story, what you find out about the scenes. As ever, I'll let you know what's next. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to see you today. Welcome back to Kensington Gardens. I come here, by the way, because the hay fever's not as bad. I know it should be, shouldn't it? With all the trees, but it's not. Itchy nose, but we'll just leave it there for now. I love the fact that we can share these things with each other, can't we? We're all amongst friends, of course we can. You know what it's like though? Somebody told me the other day about putting Vaseline around your nose or under your eyes and stuff when you go to sleep or when you go out. You can't do that though, can you? Because you look like you've got a dollop of Vicks vapor rub when you're out. It's not a good look, is it? I'm sure you'll tell me. But as ever, back to your Breaking Royal story of the day. Now, this particular story came to my attention because a young lady called Marie Shirkins sent me this story all about the Duchess of York, and let me explain. You know, I've known the Duchess of York for many years. In fact, what you're seeing now is her very first signed book that she gave to me, Tea with Ruby, all those years ago now. I won't say how many years ago. We both still look good though, don't we, Fergie? Well, you do, not me. But it was nice actually. When you look at the illustrations, the book was brilliant and he did incredibly well for her, you know, so it's nice to know. And then of course during the pandemic, during lockdown, Sarah decided to do story time with Sarah or Fergie, whichever you want to call her, on YouTube. A bit of a breakaway thing, but it proved incredibly popular because basically she was inviting celebrities or reading stories from other people just to, you know, alleviate the boredom, particularly if you've got young children who wanted something a little bit more magical. She even dressed up as certain characters, and I thought it was a really good fun project, and it just goes to show the kind heart that she's got against the media sort of presentation that they often present with Fergie. Now, what happened to Marie was this. Marie herself is a very accomplished author and had written a children's book which she decided to send along to the Duchess of York, never really thinking that she would hear anything from it or even, you know, an acknowledgement of receipt. She just wanted to say, you know, look, I've done a book and this is the deal. And this is what happened next. Called A Fairy on My Sleeve, Julie landed at, of course, Royal Lodge in Windsor. And much to the shock for Marie, literally 2 days later, she'd received notification that Sarah was going to be featuring it in Story Time with Sarah on YouTube. Now, as you can imagine, this escalated interest worldwide. She got a lovely response back, feedback, praise, and of course, you know, how well the book had done for her. Not only that, Marie then, because of that, ended up being invited onto her local TV stations, radio stations, and the book simply got masses of publicity. All because Sarah, Duchess of York, had decided to read, you know, the book on sort of Story Time with Sarah on YouTube. And as Mary pointed out in the note that she sent me, which was really nice, by the way, Mary, thank you so much for sharing it with me. I did like the fact that she said it was just total shock. You know, she just truly never thought that, first of all, she might get a letter if she was lucky to say that the book had been received, but she had no idea that Sarah would go the whole hog, as it were, and feature her on her YouTube channel. That, of course, has resulted into a bit of a celebritydom for Marie now, which has gone incredibly well for her. And as she pointed out, she wanted to share this particular story simply because she said, you know, she's a person now obviously who's living over in Canada, I believe. I think I've got that right. And she originally started out in Warrington or Stockton, near Warrington in the north of England. So obviously, you know, she was just reaching out, particularly during the pandemic, wanting to reconnect with her home, all that sort of stuff. And look what happened. And as I say, you know, you don't see these stories ever on the mainstream media. That's why we like to share them with you here on this channel, because we like to be fair and balanced. We like people to see both sides of the story, and then you can make up your own mind whether you believe the mainstream or indeed the things that we're presenting here to you. And as ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular heartwarming story in the comments below. For me, I just think it's magical. How nice to have your story read by someone from the British monarchy. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.